Before we begin, we dare you to hit that subscribe button and check the description for goodies. Firstly, did you know what do dentists call their x-rays? Toothpicks. So on this unessential information, today, we will acknowledge you about cool facts about our beloved planet. Snow steaks, turtles are awesome and steak bears. For animals everywhere, climate change will bring major changes. If we are interested in unbelievable species, then we need to look how climate change will make it more difficult for them to obtain food and reduce their habitats, from woodland to sea ice to the rivers and crayfowl in the United Kingdom. Take you them the coffee fix morning. If you're a person who needs a caffeine hit to get started, the day may be dreadful. Climate change has well-documented consequences on coffee, and coffee growers already notice decreased and increased pests. You're not clear, even if you're caffeine-free, climate change can also affect the production of wine. Did you hear about the first restaurant to open on the moon? COMMODICATION coral reefs. The discovery of Nemo or Dory might become tougher because of the stress of climate change in their lovely homes. Higher ocean and air temperatures induce coral bleaching, which causes corals to lose color and die. The situation is compounded by ocean acidification, increasing atmospheric CO2. Today the water is 26% more acidic than in 1990, with unparalleled black and back bleaching in 2016 and 2017 at Great Barrier Reef. For everyone who hopes to see the Great Barrier Reef one day, climate change is extremely poor news. Before we everything choose water, were you aware that 2 out of 3 people living in areas of acute water shortage throughout the world? The water cycle will be destabilized even by a slight rise in global warming and may make water shortages considerably worse. Change in climate has an impact on rainfall patterns, which will increase the prevalence and intensity of both the drought and flood. While it is not comparable to life-threatening catastrophes, climate change might make you work late already. What did one ocean say to the other ocean? Nothing, it just waved. We did all the sight of politicians in good favor. Over the past few years, global temperature records been broken, with floods in the UK deteriorating. Each year, in Somerset, we saw politicians flocking to dinghies in Cornwall and fighting with one another in Westminster. Further and more intense extreme weather is documented as a consequence of human emissions of greenhouse gases, and as a result of climate change, the yearly cost of floods in Britain might climb 15-fold in the 2080s. There has to be genuine action by politicians on climate change, not the next picture opportunity. Do you want to hear a construction joke? Sorry, I'm still working on it. Renews are incredible back. One of the most important ecosystems in the globe is the rainforest, irresistible and frequently characterized as the world's lung. For example, the Amazon is home to a stunning number of 1 in 10 of the world's best-known species. However, more than 1/3 of the Amazon rainforest is already endangered. It is a double-edged sword too. Forest degradation, which has an amazing number of greenhouse gases generated around the planet, is a key source of climate change, especially for agriculture. Here we are everything clean air breath. It may be justified that we confront a degraded air quality with anthropogenic climate change induced by human emissions into the atmosphere. This has an impact on human health, particularly youngsters. Pollution from air can result in asthma, cardiovascular and lung conditions. Beijing's creeping fog is a visual reminder, but in the United Kingdom terrible air quality is also hitting the news. Exciting because clean tech, not everything's terrible news. Some of the greatest advances in technology in recent years have been to minimize humanity's CO2 dependence, and to come up with alternatives. Solar panels, the transformation of wave energy and wind farms enable us to cleanly harness the power of nature, gather energy without damaging the environment or destroying ecosystems. In the meanwhile, clever technologies, like the Wall-E robot to isolate your home to conserve energy, help reduce carbon in unexpected locations. This technology might provide us and our planet with a cleaner and healthier future. When world we live, climate change will not just harm forestry or coral reefs or even people in the far-flung nations, it will touch us all. Climate change is not only a matter of impacts, but of course it will affect everyone. Everything will have a real influence. Everyone will experience the consequences of climate change, starting with more intense weather to higher food costs, leisure and less opportunity to appreciate the natural environment. Climate change is essential to build a future in which people and environment flourish, and it is the reason why the WWF is working on this. Future generations, because we are lucky to live in a lovely, diversified and exciting world. Our children and all generations to come deserve the same thing. You aren't alone if you feel anxious by now. Millions of individuals labor for our world together. Events like as Earth Hour remind us brilliantly that collectively, human beings are capable of great things and that for the right causes we can bring about change. Lastly, we're the third rock from the sun. Yes, our home, Earth, is the third planet from the sun and the only world known to support an atmosphere with free oxygen, oceans of liquid water on the surface and, the big one, life. Earth is one of the 4 terrestrial planets. Like Mercury, Venus and Mars, it is rocky at the surface. Thank you for watching this video, we hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a look in the description for goodies. Cheers.